You may think that the best way to deal with hip or knee issues is to cut back on your activities. But the truth is actually opposite. Movement is the best way to alleviate the pain or discomfort. So if you're having trouble walking up the stairs, walking down the stairs, or you don't spring out of bed anymore in the morning like you used to, or sitting for a prolonged period of time is nice, but then getting up is a little problematic, or when you're trying to stretch your hips and trying to put your foot on the top of the knee, you feel the range of motion in your hip joint is not as good as it used to be. The best way to deal with these kind of issues, research shows, is through movement. When I say movement, of course, I mean Pilates. Pilates, with all the equipment that we have available, helps to strengthen and stretch the muscles that keep the hip joints and the knee joints healthy. But for your home needs, when you don't have access to the equipment, I always say that knowing the mat repertoire is your best approach. In the Pilates mat repertoire, there's a specific set of exercises called Sidekicks, which focus on the stability and mobility of the hips and the knees. But before you practice Sidekicks, make sure that you warm up with at least the beginner mat sequence. You can find my step-by-step tutorial inside the YouTube channel. For Sidekicks, lie down on the edge of the mat with your elbow and your pelvis aligned with each other and your legs to the front of the mat for balance. Let's try to engage the abdominals to be able to lift the weight off of the head, out of the wrist, and out of the shoulder. But if that's not available to you, you can always use pillows to do this exercise, so then the neck and the shoulders don't get involved. In the first variation, the front-back variation, we're kick to the front, 1, 2, and to the back, 1, 2. One bigger kick and one smaller kick in both directions, big and small, in such a manner that the pelvis remains as still as possible and the bottom leg as well. Do your best. This exercise is difficult to accomplish if we have tightness in the hip flexors or the hamstrings. Here, the hamstrings get elongated, stretch when we're kicking to the front. You can add flexing your foot for a better effect. And then as we kick into the back, we're lengthening the hip flexors by pointing the foot away. Inhale to the front, exhale to the back. Usually 8 repetitions. Next, let's lift the leg up only as high as we can keep the pelvis stable, and then lower it down without touching the other leg. We can point to lengthen the leg out of the hip, get that sensation of elongating the leg, and flex to activate the inner thigh, lowering the leg down. Inhale as you're lifting, exhale as you're lowering. Make sure, check your neck. One more inhale to point, exhale to flex. Now we can change the position of the foot. So we can lift the leg up, flexing the foot, and lower down, pointing. And as you flex, activate the inner thigh. As you point, lengthen the leg out of the hip. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower. Now let's relax the quad. Turn your leg in. Internally rotate at the hip joint. Relax your foot. And pretend that you're drawing little circles with the heel. Just moving the leg right in the hip joint. Trying to stabilize the rest of your body. Let's do 8 repetitions in one direction and then reverse. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. And the last variation here, let's bend the knee, put your foot right in front of your bottom thigh, move your bottom thigh back to align the leg with the rest of the body. Flex the foot to stabilize the knee and try lifting the leg up nice and slow, activating the inner thigh to do so. So the inner thigh gets activated, the outer thigh lengthens, stretches. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. Up, 2, 3, down, 2, 3. Nice and slow while you're stabilizing the pelvis, scooping your abdominals to lift the weight of your torso off the floor so you're not sinking in. And then we can either kick 8 times, leg towards the ceiling, working on the same inner thigh, or we can make small circles right at the top, 8 each direction, up to 8. Inhale for the first 4 and exhale for the second 4. All right, so now let's do the other side, practicing what we just learned. Align your elbow with the edge of the mat as well as the pelvis. Bring the legs to the front. Stabilize your pelvis by pressing your forearm against it. On an inhale, let's kick to the front, flexing. 1, 2. Point to the back. 1, 2. Do your best, trying to stabilize the pelvis and the top shoulder while you're isolating the leg away from the pelvis. Avoid bending in your lower back or arching your lower back as you're moving the leg. The movement will probably feel smaller than what you were planning on doing. That's quite all right. We are working towards increasing flexibility in the hip joints here and strengthening the knee. Now we'll put the foot on the top of the other. Again, engage the abdominals, lift your leg up, lengthen it out of the hip, lower down, engaging the inner thigh. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. Always trying to lengthen the leg out of the pelvis. And one more. And reverse. Flex and point. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. 2 more. Now let's draw little circles with the heel, moving the leg just in the hip joint. 8 repetitions each way. Keep stabilizing your pelvis using your arm. And finally, put your foot in front of the thigh. Slide the other leg to line it up with the rest of the body. Flex your foot and lift your inner thigh as high as you can and lower down without touching the mat. Inhale, lifts it up. Exhale, lowers it down. Up, 2, 3. Down, 2, 3. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And 4 more. And 3. Scooping your abdominals in, check your wrist, check your neck. Hold your leg up high and pulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or you can circle right at the top there. 4 circles in each direction. Inhale and exhale. When your hips and knees don't hurt anymore, it's easier to get out of bed, walk up and down the stairs, maybe even get down on the floor, get up off the floor, and get up from sitting position without discomfort. So keep moving, keep practicing good body mechanics, keep your muscles strong and flexible and your joints mobile. Happy Pilates!